Okay, today I'm going to attempt to replace my gimbal bearing, which I'm not sure if it's bad, but I figured out why I've got this thing out. I'll go ahead and do it. And I got my alignment tool in today, and I just slid it through just to see how it fit, and check this out. It's got quite a bit of play in the bearing, so it's smooth though when you turn it, but there's quite a bit of play. I don't know if that's normal or not. But I'm going to attempt, once I pull this thing out, I'm going to attempt to slide something through there and knock out the bearing. And then reinstall the Sierra brand right there. So we shall see how it goes. Figured I'd bring you guys along, and if it goes well, then great. If it doesn't, you get to watch me fail. But anyway, so I'm going to try to knock it out with, I've got a long steel bar. I'm going to see if I can knock it out with my rubber mallet, see if it even is going to budge. I may need to wait till it gets installed in the boat before I do that. Well, getting the gimbal out of that housing is a little harder than I expected, so I'm going to go ahead and put this thing on the boat like it's supposed to, and that way I can yank it out with a slide hammer. And I'm having the hell of a time to keep that little gasket right here glued on with the 5200. Just wants to pop off. So what I've done is I've prepped the keyhole with 5200 really good all the way around, and I'm going to get this thing up there, and then as I'm pushing it on, I'm going to align the gasket all the way around it. It's messy, man. This stuff gets all over your hands. Looks like you've been playing in grease, but man, this stuff is impossible to get off. So wear gloves. I'm just out of my surgical gloves that I've been using, and this is the messiest part. So anyway, I'm going to go see if I can find somebody to help me hold this thing up on the transom. Well, I got it done. My lovely wife came out here and helped me hold up the back side of the gimbal housing, and I tightened it from the other side. All I got to say is that black stuff, the 5200, is nasty. That was a white paper towel. Whenever I put this on here, it just squished out all over the place. I've smoothed it down for a pretty good finish and then wiped it. I'm real confident that is nice and sealed. But getting the little foam round gasket in there is an absolute whipping. I don't mind telling you. That was the hardest thing I've done, I think, so far. I got me some new anode bolts down there. I got to put the heads on them, but I got new ones there. And I guess I torqued them down. I got one of the guys at the boat place where I buy a lot of parts from. He said to torque it, wait about 3 hours, and then come back and retorque it again, because they will absolutely lose their torque readings all the time. So you got to keep doing it with a new transom. But I'm going to run up to the auto parts store and see if I can find a three hammer, or a 3-claw hammer, I should say, to yank it out. Now, see if I can get in here. I had an idea after I saw someone's post on their with their boat. They had a through-hole exhaust that came basically out right here, which I thought was pretty cool because it keeps the exhaust below the water line. But see, here's where it normally goes out, which is down here, and then the Y pipe comes up. But this had the log style exhaust like what I've got right there. And basically where that white pipe intersects with the rubber housing, that would be a 90 that would basically go out right about here. So I think that's where my tunnel is. Not 100% sure. I have to do some more measuring. I haven't quite decided if I really want to do that and drill a 4-inch hole for my brand new transom, or just deal with the through leg exhaust. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet. I got a couple more days until we drop the engine in to make my mind up. But anyway, it's done. I'm going to go to the auto parts store, see if I can find a puller and get this gimbal bearing done. Good old AutoZone. Got a slide hammer with the 3-jaw puller that basically goes on the end of this. This slides into the gimbal, and then you tighten it down. These go out and grab hold of it and use this big giant puller to yank it out. So I'm going to attempt that. See how it goes. Well, that was pretty easy. It took about 5 pounds of the little hammer there, and it slid right on out. I was able to pull it out pretty easily. Now I need to mark where my little hole was, so that way I can get it lined back up for the grease fitting. The guy at the boat store said that that the new fittings are pre-packed, but I went ahead and bought an older one with a fitting in it just to make sure. And I've got it in the freezer right now to kind of make it colder, so hopefully it'll slip in a little bit better. But anyway, went pretty good. Just see if I can get it back in. Well, the gimbal bearing is done. I got that sucker back in there. It wasn't too hard. I used actually a couple of socket extensions. These are impact extensions, and just tapped on the very edges of it and just little by little worked that sucker in until it seated down. And it wasn't too bad. You got to make sure you line up the grease hole though with the zerk fitting on this side, so that way it goes in and it fills up the raceway with grease, which you can't really see it, but I already did that with grease, and boy, it came out perfectly. It came out around the bearing, so I know I got it in there, so it's all said and done. Wasn't too hard, just took a little bit of time. I also went and put the Y pipe back in, and I'm not going to do the through hole exhaust, because if you look where this piece is right here, if you'd have done the 90 degree, it puts it too close to where the tunnel is in here. It would have come out right about here, which I'm not sure that would have worked too well. So I'll just deal with it. I don't need that big loud exhaust anyway, so it'll probably get old after a while. So everything's ready. This weekend we're gonna drop the engine in, and I just finished draining the out drive. Oh, and look, it's made a big mess. Great, my garage is gonna smell like gear oil now. But I'm fixing to separate the two halves and put a new water pump in it and get it ready to paint. So I'm gonna shoot some single stage enamel over it and make it all looking pretty. Put some new stickers on it and